My name is Cecilia Whitham, and this is my technology integration lesson. For this lesson, teachers are going to need access to YouTube. They will also need student iPads that have the QR code reader app pre-downloaded. Students will also be using Padlet, Explain Everything or iMovie, and then they'll be completing a Google form as their exit ticket. The instructional design model that I chose to use for this lesson follows the 5E teaching model, and it incorporates aspects of the constructivist learning theory, and also because it's a science lesson, it also just naturally has portions of the inquiry-based teaching approach as well. The 5E learning model is one that can be traced back to John Piaget's constructivist learning theory, and you'll see that in today's lesson that the students are going to be building their knowledge based on their experiences. Also, because it is a science lesson, it has portions of the inquiry-based teaching approach. This is one that was designed back in the 1960s by Karplus and Thayer. And what we're going to see is students are going to be exploring, and they'll also be building their basic understanding of concepts through interactions with their peers. And once they have that basic understanding, they're going to get to go back with their groups and they're going to apply the concept that they learn. The lesson objectives for this particular lesson include understanding if a circuit is complete or incomplete. They'll be able to use the different portions of a circuit, and they're going to have to understand that in order for a bulb to light, it has to be attached in a complete enclosed circle. The essential questions they'll need to answer are: how can you make a complete electrical circuit that will light a bulb? And what is necessary to have energy flow through a circuit? This lesson is intended for a 5th grade audience and takes about 60 minutes. The 5E lesson plan follows 5 different portions: the engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. In order to begin with the engage portion, students are going to watch a video clip from River Monsters where Jeremy Wade is fishing for an electric eel. This will be intended to activate their prior knowledge about insulators and conductors. After watching the video, the students are going to use their iPads and they will use the QR code reader to gain access to Padlet. The great thing about Padlet is it's going to be a place where the students can have an online interactive live discussion using the iPads. The teacher can control the comments that are made and also can use their own comments to kind of direct the discussion. This is what it might look like before, and this is what it might look like afterwards. So you can have multiple students that comment at one time, but you can also see on this one, but I also made comments about their comment as a way to kind of guide the discussion and the concepts that I wanted to make sure that they were understanding. Following this, students are going to get the following materials, and never having learned about circuits before, it's going to be a completely hands-on exploration activity. Their goal, and they're only going to have about 5 minutes to do this, is they're going to have the following pieces. They're going to have the battery, the bulb, the battery holder, the alligator clips or wires, the bulb holder, and a switch. And their goal is going to be to try to make the bulb light. And after about that 5 minutes passes, we will go around from group to group and they'll raise their hands if they were able to get it to light successfully. We might have some that do and some that don't. Following this, what we're going to have them do as the explain portion, their students are going to participate in something called a consensus circle activity. Students are going to usually be in groups of 4, and they will receive a large butcher paper that will look something like this. The 4 corners are going to be the places where each student individually gets to write down what their idea or their thoughts are. And then after a discussion, the students will have to come to a consensus that they will write inside of the circle. And so the discussion that they're going to be having today is going to be based on the root word circ. And so the students are going to receive the following picture cards. They have words that have circ inside of them, and they have a picture and a definition that goes with each one. The students will get an opportunity to look at each of these, and then in their 4 corners, they'll write down what they think the root word circ means. And then after they write their own individual, they'll have a discussion, and as a group, they're going to have to decide what they think that it means. and then we'll allow all of the groups to share out what they think that it is. And then as a class, we will come to the conclusion that it does mean that it has to be in a closed circle. And this is where we can then refer back to the circuit picture, and this is where they will understand that in order for a circuit to be complete and in order for the bulb to light, it must be in a complete enclosed circle. So even if we had groups prior that were not able to light the bulb, they'll now have a direction so that they'll know how to make their bulb light. So then for the elaboration portion, where they get to apply that knowledge, students will then get to go back to the original pieces of equipment needed to make a circuit, and then they get to make their circuit. It can be as simple or as complex as they wish, and then they get to either choose Explain Everything or iMovie to video their successful circuit, which means that they're going to have to be able to prove in their video that they were able to get their bulb to light, and they'll share that with the teacher on Google Drive. As a way to continue that elaboration and applying that knowledge, students will then also get the following pictures. Using their materials, they'll get to recreate the picture, and they're going to sort these into the ones that are closed circuits that will light the bulb and open circuits that will not. With their group, they'll also answer the following questions, and this is just really a reflection piece where as a group, they get to really think about the fact that the reason that bulbs are able to light is because circuits are closed circles, and the ones that didn't are not connected and in a complete circle. And then finally, in the evaluation portion, where I get to check for their individual understanding, each student will individually complete the following exit ticket. It was made on Google Forms, and so students are given a very simple picture, and they will be expected to discuss whether or not the circuit will light and then explain in detail why or why not, and they'll turn that in online. I hope that you enjoyed my lesson. Thank you so much.